Yo, welcome to MaxPreps.com. I'm Zack, Poff. Got Myckena, Guerrero in the house with me today. Big day tomorrow, Myckena. What's going down?
It's draft day, the day we've all been waiting for. Well, especially these guys. It's going to change their lives forever.
Going to change their lives, and their bank account's going to be a little bit bigger, too.
Just a little bit, yeah.
You know, we're going to take a look at the high school career of some of the guys that will most likely hear their name selected in the first round. What position do you think we're starting with? We
got to start with the quarterbacks, and of course, we got to start with your guy, fight on, Mr. Sam Darnold. Yeah, he went to San Clemente High School, was a three-sport athlete, played football, obviously, basketball,
big-time
and
basketball player too.
Yes.
You know, he was two-time MVP of the South Coast League, and he was also named to the All-CIF team. People said that watched him play high school basketball, he could have played in the Pac-12 hoops.
He's a complete athlete, let's just say that. But his career passing yards, 3,733 and 46 TDs.
And, you know, most of those career passing yards came in his senior season. That was the year he spent most of the time at quarterback. Junior season was limited, battled a foot injury most of the season, so he missed most of his junior season. Sophomore year, I believe he only played one start at quarterback, was playing linebacker and wide receiver though on his off day. So
I'm just really excited to see him at the next level. After seeing him perform at Pro Day.
Where do you think he's going?
There's been a lot of talk about the Browns.
He's going number one.
Yeah, but then, you know, we'll see.
With some other quarterbacks too from California, you know, Josh Rosen from St. John Bosco. I'm not doing that. We're fighting on all day over here. But, you know, Rosen led them to a national title, undefeated season, snapped De La Salle's 40-game winning streak, won a state title in the CIF Open Division game.
90 touchdowns throughout his career.
Almost 9,000 passing yards. Big-time high school career for Josh Rosen. Was a little banged up at UCLA. I don't think we really saw the full potential there, but I think whoever gets Rosen's getting a big-time quarterback. Josh Allen, the other guy from California.
Yes.
And this is really
the of how hard work pays off. Started off at
wasn't even ranked
Ridley
coming out of high
College.
school. Yeah, Ridley College, you know.
College, and then
exactly. He's kind of going the Aaron Rodgers route. Rodgers was at Butte. There you go. And then he went to Cal and was big time. Josh Allen, you know, there's a chance he could go number one, which would be pretty impressive. A guy that wasn't even ranked.
And he actually really wants to go to Cleveland to change that franchise around.
Yeah, well, you go number one, you get more money. So I get it.
You know, some other people didn't really want to go there. So.
A couple other quarterbacks who were big time. Baker Mayfield out of Lake Travis High School. He was a part of that team that won 5 consecutive state championships.
The Heisman Trophy winner this year.
Yeah, but back at Lake Travis, you know, won the state title in 2011. Was a top 10 team that season. Went 25-2 as a high school quarterback. And winning in Texas is a pretty big deal, and this guy's really won everywhere he's been a quarterback.
Yes.
I think he's going to surprise some people.
First walk-on ever
to win the Heisman. Yeah, another Heisman winner, Lamar Jackson, out in Florida.
Yes.
You know, we had to talk about the state of Florida. He was a big-time must-watch TV down at Boynton Beach, and he's another one of the guys that's class of 2015. Him, Darnold, and Rosen are all class of 2015, and Baker's the old guy of the bunch, class of 2013, because, you know, he walked on at Texas Tech first, and then he went to Oklahoma later.
Yeah,
so
graduated in 2013.
Yeah, some other notable offensive guys. Obviously, running back Saquon Barkley, and you know, a lot of people think he's going to go to the Giants at number 2.
Yes.
How fun would that be to watch him in Odell?
That would. I mean, he is from the Bronx, from New York. You know, kind of going back, but I mean, obviously they play in New Jersey, but going back to the name.
Kind of same area. So, but he was a star out in Pennsylvania, Whitehall High School. You know, he was a top 150 guy in the class of 2015 and had a big senior season. Balled for nearly 2,000 yards and almost 40 touchdowns during that year. And, you know, if he went number 2, who's the last guy to go number 2 at the running back position?
Reggie Bush in 2006.
USC guy. Probably should have got number 1. Mario Williams did. But Ronald Jones, speaking of Reggie Bush and SC, Ronald Jones, you know, this is a guy out of Texas. Only thing I disagree with him on is I would take In-N-Out over Whataburger. But that's about it. But this guy was big time.
Have you even had it, though?
Yeah, so I guess I can't say it. Yeah.
You can't judge until you try.
I'll tell you what, though. You see Ronald Jones back in high school at McKinney North. He reminded me a ton of Jamal Charles with the long dreads. Explosive, big-time running back. You see his film, and you're instantly impressed. A couple other guys, Darius Geis, LSU. And you really knew how good he was, you know, obviously with Leonard Fournette at LSU, but back at Catholic High School in Louisiana.
He's 4-star.
Yeah, he was 4-star, number 5 running back. So he was one spot below Jones in the class of 2015.
That's crazy how they're all on this journey together, too.
Yeah, Sonny Michel was a year ahead of those guys, class of 2014. He was so good.
He started varsity career as an 8th grader, but then sadly tore his ACL during his sophomore year.
I think it's safe to say is...
but he's a quick healer. I mean, the following year,
What's Big Sean say?
Huh?
I think he bounced back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to get ill. Listen to bounce back.
He bounced back. You know, he had Georgia in the Natty. Almost won that game. I think they would have won if they would have gave the ball to Sony Michel a little more.
Okay.
But American Heritage High School is big time. And that's where he balled at as an 8th grader, which is super impressive.
And we always see a ton of top recruits come from American Heritage High School.
There was one guy I had to throw on here because he's a San Diego State guy. Who was that?
Thank you. It's Mr. Rashad Penny. He went to Norwalk. He was a 3-star back in high school, number 60 running back overall. This past season, he rushed for 2,248 yards and scored 23 touchdowns.
Some out west, though.
89
Some out west.
You know what? He carried them through. You know, they might have not had the best season, but you know what? He set some good records.
Yeah, he did. He balled, man. And San Diego State's had some big-time running backs. Obviously, you can go all the way back to Marshall Faulk, who is, you know, one of the best all-purpose, all-around running backs the NFL's ever seen.
I'm pretty sure Rashad Penny surpassed him.
Yeah, but we'll see what he does in the NFL before we start getting that crazy. A couple of wide receivers. Calvin Ridley, 5-star, big-time guy out of Florida also. DJ Moore was must-watch TV. And Equanimous St. Brown.
EQ in the house, the oldest of the St. Brown brothers.
I've been saying this, man. This family is the Ball brothers
of
football. I tell you what, I think the youngest is the best of the bunch, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
He thinks so too, as he saw that on the HBO.
Equanimous, though, is a bad boy. We saw what he did at Notre Dame. He was a star back at Servite High School down in SoCal. He was a top 200 guy, and, you know, he's fun to watch.
He's going to be incredible in
He's got the size and the speed.
Exactly.
And I think he's probably a second round draft guy, maybe. Yeah, that's
and he's got the mental.
Yeah, very smart family. That family knows what they're doing. So
yeah.
And
he
Christian,
speaks like 500 languages.
Yeah, I got one. So Christian Kirk, big time guy, Texas A&M, played ball out in Arizona at Saguaro High School. Saguaro, one of the most winning programs in high school football, not just in Arizona, but in the country. And Christian Kirk had a very successful high school career. 5-star receiver coming up, number 25 overall. And, you know, you see his film, and you're like, dang, this guy was pretty good.
Baller out there.
Defense, real quick, Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Wins championships.
Yeah, Minkah Fitzpatrick, St. Peter's Prep, and you brought it up, wins championships. He's won everywhere.
He was a 5-star. He played on both sides of the ball and executed.
And special teams.
On both sides of the ball, exactly.
Yeah, and
66 total tackles the senior season.
Yeah, won 2 natties at Alabama. Won a state title at St. Peter's Prep during his senior season. That team also had Brandon Wimbush on the squad, who's the quarterback at Notre Dame. And this is one of the best teams that Rich Hanson's ever had. And he's had some pretty good teams at St. Peter's Prep High School. I think Minkah Fitzpatrick's going to be the best guy in the draft.
Overall.
He's going to be the best. Everything. Everybody included. You'd see the film, man. He did it in high school, too. This guy lines up everywhere. At the NFL level, you're going to see him line up at safety, corner, come up to the line of scrimmage. He's going to be an Earl Thomas type where he's just so versatile, and he's a great leader, too, on top of that. I hope he falls to 8 to Tampa Bay.
If you could pick somebody in the 2019 class that plays just like Minkah Fitzpatrick, who would it be?
You know what? Just how versatile he is. He can play both sides of the ball. You got to go with my guy, Brew McCoy.
Okay.
I got to. Brew's bigger. Yeah. But, you know, Brew's more of a linebacker type. Minkah's more of a defensive back. But a guy that makes plays on offensive defense, Brew McCoy's a guy that jumps out to me.
Okay.
There. You happy with that answer?
Yeah.
Denzel Ward, man. This kid was a stud out in Ohio, too. Was a shutdown corner at Ohio State also. 4-star corner coming out of Nordonia High School, class of 2015, too. And Derwin James.
5-star.
This boy's a savage. Overall. Whoever drafts Derwin James is getting a stud. And, you know, back at Haines City Senior High School in Florida, he was a, top 5 recruit overall coming out in the class of 2015, number 1 safety. And Florida State, man, they've had some big boy defensive backs, you know. And Derwin James is going to be added to the list. Obviously, one that jumps out is Jalen Ramsey. James,
of course.
More safety, obviously. But whoever gets James is getting a savage. San Diego might need some help on defense. He could be the guy you guys get.
You know what? That would be an excellent pickup.
Yeah.
I would be happy with it.
Roquan Smith, a lot of people think he might go to the Niners now.
And I also hear a lot of talks about the Colts, too.
Yeah, Colts need help defensively. And, you know, with the whole Reuben Foster thing going on, the Niners might need a linebacker, impact rookie coming in right away. And Roquan could be that guy. He was absolute savage at Macon County, both sides of the ball. He was probably as good a running back as he was a linebacker out in Georgia, which is saying something. And he was a top 50 recruit overall. And if the Colts got him, that would be huge because then you could start building that defense and hope Andrew Luck can come back healthy, obviously, too. Bradley Chubb, stud also.
Yeah. And you know what? I saw that Bleacher Report said that he's going to go to Green Bay.
Not happening.
Green Bay has the 14th pick.
He ain't falling out of the top 5. This boy's nice, out of Hillgrove High School, class of 2014. And let's just say this. Mario Williams was selected first overall. Mm-hmm. And Bradley Chubb broke his single-season record with 26 sacks last season at NC State. So I tell you, I think Cleveland's getting Darnold, and I think they're going to get Chubb at 4. So they're going to get that quarterback, and then they're going to get a guy that can go ball with Myles Garrett, who was last year's number 1 pick. So I think that's what Cleveland's going to do, and Bradley Chubb is an absolute stud. Hillgrove High School has had a couple of guys in the NFL. We're going to save that for trivia after, though, and see how good it is, see if you can get some of these guys. Rashad Evans, 5-star, coming out of Alabama, Auburn High School. And, Shaquem Griffin. Find me a better story in the NFL draft this year than the former Lakewood High star out in Florida. Class of 2013, 3-star, was ranked in the 1600th range and was a top 130 safety.
That's crazy.
When it comes to adversity, and I can imagine people have told him probably, hey, you can't do this. He's only got one arm. I think this guy is going to be an impact player in the NFL, and it's all because of that adversity. And he was hearing it.
Doesn't kill you, makes you stronger.
Yeah, and back at Lakewood High School, he was playing with his brother, who's now a DB for the Seattle Seahawks. It's going to be fun, man. I think he's a guy to keep your eye on. It'll probably be a 3rd round, 4th round selection, but it's coming from a guy that was told probably you're not going to be successful at football, and next thing you know, he's going to hear his name called.
Just to be in this position is such a blessing.
Who do you hope your Chargers draft before we get to trivia? I'm guessing you guys picked the teen range.
Well, you know what? I would really like a quarterback.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think
I'll tell you what.
Someone. I heard Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
Was someone we were looking at. I know Pittsburgh was looking at him.
And he was a guy that was a star out in South Carolina at Northwestern High School, was a big-time quarterback, and, put up some numbers at Oklahoma State also, too. I don't care. You're not going to ask me, but I'm going to ask myself. Who would you like your Tampa Bay Bucks to draft? I would love Mika Fitzpatrick to come play with Tampa Bay.
Well,
or Derwin James.
You said he was the best one.
Or Derwin James. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you ready for trivia real quick before we wrap it up?
I think so. I hope so.
Who was the last USC quarterback selected number 1? I didn't highlight the answer, so don't cheat and look over here. A, Mark Sanchez, Mission Viejo High School. B, Carson Palmer, I believe Santa Margarita High School. Or C, Matt Leinart, Modern Day Monarch. Sanchez, Palmer, Leinart. Who was the last quarterback from USC selected number 1? What are you looking at? No cheating.
Carson
you can't
Palmer.
exit out of that. She's cheating. That is correct. Yeah, exit out of that tab. That's right. Mark Sanchez was number 5, and I believe Leinart was number 4.
Okay.
Who was the last quarterback selected in the first round that played high school football in Texas? Last quarterback from Texas selected in the first round.
Okay.
A, Patrick Mahomes. B, Johnny Football. Or C, Andrew Luck.
Ooh, Johnny Football.
Patrick Mahomes. Last year, first round, Kansas City Chiefs. Dang. Patrick Mahomes was actually named the MaxPreps Athlete of the Year. Oh. He's a big-time football player. And, the scary thing is he might be actually a better baseball player than football.
That's
Mahomes
crazy.
was an absolute stud at both sports. All right, Bradley Chubb. We talked about him earlier. I said this was going to come up again. He's expected to go in the first round on Thursday. Which former Hillgrove High School star, who will he join as being the only first-round pick from that high school? A, Kenyon Drake, who is a running back for the Miami Dolphins, played at Alabama. B, Evan Ingram, starting tight end for the New York Giants, played at Ole Miss. Or Robert Incognito, who went to... it's not that because he just saw it right there. He went to Grayson High School, so that eliminates him. Is it Drake or Ingram? Are you going 0 to 100 real quick, or are you going Ingram?
I'm going 0 to 100 real quick.
Well, that's wrong.
Oh, dang it. I meant...
Evan Ingram was the first-round selection. So the only one you got right was the one you cheated on by looking at the tab.
I see another one.
Yeah. I didn't write down the other answers. So who was the last player from California to be selected as the number 1 pick?
Jared Goff.
That's correct.
Okay.
Where did he go to high school? Marin Catholic.
Oh, dang.
Even back in the day, I broadcast a game, him against Vacaville.
No way.
And the Vacaville Bulldogs actually beat Jared Goff during his junior season. But he had a good game. It was like 35-31. He threw for a lot.
That's pretty cool that you saw him.
Yeah, he was good.
Obviously.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say. Who's going to be the number 1 pick? We'll end on that.
I'm going to have to say Sam Darnold, probably.
Okay, we agree. We agree. We out here on MaxPreps.com. That's Myckena Guerrero. I'm Zack Poff.